Hey, tribe, what's going on? Welcome back or welcome to In Touch with Terri. I'm honored to have you here. And for those of you that have followed me and supported me all these years, thank you so much. I'm really honored today. As we are wrapping up almost to season 10, I can't believe it. I wanted to do something a little bit different, something that's been an aspirational thing for me, but more importantly, to give back to you in a different way. And I think as this industry is evolving rapidly, it's becoming more competitive than ever. It is becoming a commodity. And I think a lot of what's lacking in the space, as you all know, because y'all know what I do. And if you don't know what I do, I lecture and teach all over the world on how practices, aesthetic practices, plastic surgery, med spas, integrative wellness, or anybody getting into the space can really scale, be more efficient, be more profitable. So I'm very honored to have today with me a dear friend, a client, and somebody who's just become very special to me for many reasons, including her background and what she brings to myself and my company, Lisa Lickstein with Lickstein Plastic Surgery. Lisa, hi, honey. Thank you
Hi,
for being
Terry.
here.
Thank you for having me. This is fabulous.
I know. Well, I'm really excited. So I don't even know that I have a title for this show, but I really want you to take a second. I'm going to call it a biz dev show, and what I mean by that is I think that I'm really, and we're going to dive into Lickstein Plastic Surgery. I'm going to share with you a little bit about Lisa's bio, but why I want you to just stop for a second in your tracks and grab a drink, a glass of wine, a tea, whatever you need, and a pen and paper is because this is going to be a no bullshit episode. Real world, real life case story. So for many of you out there, if you are, and Lisa will talk a little bit more, if you are someone who wants to scale, if you are meaning more money, sell to private equity, more revenue, more profit, if you are someone struggling where you're like, God, I don't know, I'm kind of feeling in the mediocre position or I'm steady Eddie and I'm not growing and I don't know why, because you're unsure of your books, your finances, your numbers, your team, your training, culture, I, I really need you to pay attention, please, because this is for anyone feeling like, you know what, I'm doing great. I'm booked out for 3 months. I have millions in the bank. Let me ask you to check yourself for a second, because when you get into why we're working together with Lisa and her husband David and their team, you are really going to understand that there is no glass ceiling to education and the amount of credence everyone puts on their clinical craft, which I applaud and respect and admire. The same needs to go to your business. So let me introduce Lisa Lickstein. She is an MSW with an MBA. She's a little bit of a smarty pants. She's the co-owner and COO of Lickstein Plastic Surgery and medical spa in Palm Beach Gardens in Port Lucia, Florida. Since 2017, she's led practices to wide expansions, over 4 locations, 30 team members, and earning recognition in 2024 as Business of the Year by the Palm Beach North Chamber of Commerce. In addition, I got the pleasure to be with Lisa at the Women of Leadership Aesthetic Conference just a few months ago. I got to hear Lisa also speak. She is a certified speaker. She's an entrepreneur of unreasonable hospitality, and she's a coach. I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that because the book is phenomenal. What I love about Lisa is she's passionate about leadership, about mentorship, about supporting women. She's founded Women in Business Mentorships, an academy in Palm Beach Chamber of Commerce with 160 graduates. So, Lisa, honey, thank you for being here with me. I'm so honored to have you, and I think everybody's going to be really honored to hear your story.
Thank you for having me. And I'm going to start and end with the same things. Hire Terry Ross. You need to hire her. Okay. So we're going to start with that.
I swear to God, I did not pay her to say that. But Lisa,
I'm
share a
paying
little
her.
bit. Yeah, thank you. I love you. Right. She's paying me. Well, but share, Lisa, a little bit more about you and your background and how you've been so successful, and a little bit about the practice.
Okay. Thank you. We, my husband and I, and I will say that for those out there, there are two plastic surgeons, Dr. Lickstein. They're twins. I'm married to David. Larry is also a plastic surgeon in Virginia. but we've been together since college, and I did other things. And I do have a master's in social work and healthcare. And then I went back and I got a master's in business administration and finance. And I ran assisted living facilities. And then I did a tremendous amount of fundraising. As a social worker, you really focus on listening and culture. And you learn very much about combining the two, in that people are either developed up or out, and how important it is to have the right people in your culture. And that was where I saw my strength, in developing people and asking questions. Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 5 years? The best thing that you could do for your team is have a team that wants to be there and knows that you're pouring into them and want them to be their best self. If they leave, they're just your advocate out there if you're helping them be their best self out in the universe. There's no downside to pouring into your team. So when David left a prior practice and wanted to open up his own, it's like, okay, we're going to do this. And that was in 2016. We spent all of 16 preparing. And I know that I want to stop for a second, and I would say one of the most amazing things about you, and that I would recommend to anyone, if you sit there and go like, I have a consultant, you can also have Terri. And it is so important to understand that if you really want to be your best, you want to grow, you need outside eyes on every aspect of your business, and one person can't do that. So I'm going to say that we had been working with Amy Anderson for a long time. We love her, and she helped us start the practice, and we scaled significantly. We had our main office, which had surgery and spa. We opened a freestanding spa with our spa partner, who's our physician assistant, Christina Naugle, who is a stellar human and a stellar injector, laser operator, all the things, like really top notch nationally, like amazing. So we started that. Then we had a little outpost up in Port St. Lucie. And then we decided, okay, we've been approached by different PE companies, different companies. Do we want to? And it seemed like the right time. And we spent 2 years, and I'll say we close every year for a full day to do strategic planning. And for 2 years, our strategic plan was to roll into this company. And in 2024, 2 of our 3 daughters got married 4 months apart from each other. The week of the first wedding, that deal fell apart, left us with 2 years of legal and accounting fees. And we just put it aside. We're like, okay, we're gonna enjoy the wedding. We're gonna focus on that. And then we came back to it and we're like, we have a lot of legal and accounting fees, and we need a different strategic plan. And that strategic plan defaulted to the surgical side. And when that happened, when we're like, okay, we're going to hire a 3rd doctor, we're going to start a quad A OR, we're going to grow out another facility, we're going to pour into that, our spa partner said, what about the spa? And I did not have bandwidth to do all of the above. Christina called you, and she said, can we do I think it was like a $10,000 package.
It was like a business,
just
like evaluate. Yeah.
Right. I had gone through quality of earnings. I knew our business was very sound. We were an 8-figure trailing 12 months. We had a lot of great things. And when we had a little phone call for maybe 2 minutes of you saying, you're like, okay, Christina wants to do this. Are you okay with it? And in my mind, I was going, this is a much longer conversation, because one, her reaching out to you said to me, I have messed this up. This is a relationship thing. We have to figure out what we're not providing that our partner feels that they need to get something else. So that's like key right there, because you have to pour into all the people that are key in your business. 2, I knew that your $10,000 package is not what we needed. We needed scale.
Yeah, right.
We needed focus on the spa. That conversation was 2 minutes, and maybe some things are kismet. Maybe the next day I saw an ad for 4S, and I was like, okay, I'm going to sign up for the whole thing for 4S. I'm going to talk to Terri. So
Love it.
And I'm gonna tell everybody who's listening right now, if you don't know what 4S is, Terri, go on Terri's website. She will see it. It's a conference. It's a business conference. If you're sitting there going like, you don't need it, like I have an MBA. We were doing over 10 million in revenue. We had a really good practice. I learned things at 4S. I learned very important things at 4S. You need to go to 4S, and it is not too expensive. Go to 4S. So we go to 4S, and I meet you, and I said, I have a consultant that I need for my surgical side, and I would love to hire you to do these other things. Do you do that? And when you said, yeah, I do that, then amazing, because we need all of the above. So I wrote these down because I wanted to not miss them, but I had 5 takeaways from 4S. Okay. So these are my takeaways.
Oh my God, please share. I love it.
All right. So I am prepared. So we did, our trailing 12 months was $10.4 million. That's a lot of money.
That's a huge money.
Our retail
Congratulations.
sales were horrible. Our retail sales were horrible. And we had an amazing team. It was not for not having the right people. We absolutely had the right people. We didn't have the plan for that. We hadn't made it a priority. I didn't realize in any way that, like, honestly, when you said that on the stage, I looked around the room thinking I'm going to have everybody going like, that's crazy. And everyone was going, yes. And I was like, oh, gee, we need to fix that. So that was the first one. The second one, really, our treatment plans, you go like, oh, who has treatment plans? And I was like, yes, I have treatment plans. It's great. It's 4 pages. It's a calendar on the back. It's fabulous. But our treatment plans were not as comprehensive as what you were discussing. And I want to just tie it into the coach builder thing for a minute. So like I'm certified through Coach Builder to teach unreasonable hospitality. So I was just up at their conference last week. And Donald Miller, who is like, $100 million
story brand.
Big guy. He said something that really distilled down to what 4S does. He said, the answer to confusion is always no. And our treatment plans listed everything under the sun and had a calendar on the back and were very pretty, but how we were using them in the different parts of our practice were at times confusing to the patient. And what you were showing at 4S, I knew was a better mousetrap. It was just better. And that's what we all go for, is better, right? So if you sit there and go like, I'm great, don't you want to be better? And if you don't want to be better, why don't you want to be better? Because if you're not always trying to get better, someone is going to be better than you. They're going to take your customers. You have to always want to be better. So that for me was a big thing, that there are better treatment plans out there and better ways to integrate the treatment plan across all the parts of our practice. So that was a big thing. And then I felt very comfortable with you because I never sit at my front desk because I'm not so delicate with my language, and I loved.
Right. Gotta keep, people that know me, gotta keep it real. Yeah. Right.
So it's important to have someone that you can speak frankly with if you're going to talk about your business, and 100% you are so authentic that way. And I felt at home there. So that was a good thing. And then we needed someone who could focus on our spa side growth, because I was so focused on having our Allergan practice consultant and our ACG practice partners consultant focus on the surgical side, that there was not someone to give that same attention to the spa side to help it maximize its growth. And again, we have the right providers. We had the right team. We had the right devices. We were doing great, but that's not going to make you better. So those things. And then when you said that you would work together, and I was like, okay, there is no downside. So I like, great.
So thank you, Lisa, so much from the bottom of my heart. I kind of want to unpack a little bit about what you said so we can give some context to the listeners about, one, how we met, and two, why you decided, because that's the origin of your story. And I really want to preface really what Lisa said. Thank you, because again, your background's incredible, obviously David and the brother. But more importantly, that what I'm hearing you say, And that the reason, right? You wanted to scale, that you were already doing 10.4 million. You guys, this is no, right? This is no easy feat to get to $10.4 million with 2 locations, surgery, med spa. It's a lot of money. Listen to what Lisa's saying. That wasn't good enough, right? She wanted to still be better and do better. And that is something that is innate in her and her husband and her team that I had nothing to do with. I hope I'm a little part of it now. But more importantly, doing better, and that she was not above seeking outside help. And then what we equally talked about, I've known Amy. I've been Amy's mentor for a really long time, and I'm honored to say that. And I think that, like you said, it's a multidisciplinary approach. There's not a one size fits all. We bring different skills to the table and focus on different things. And there are many people, right, that can contribute to your growth, which is what we have. So thank you so much. Thank you for us, you and me, being synergistic, because I think there's a lot of noise out there. There's a lot of wannabes. There's a lot of, everyone's a consultant these days. Everybody. Right. And I'm like, my God, like, do some due diligence. Have they ever owned a place, ran a place, managed a place, like have the background? It's kind of crazy. So I thank you for writing down those 4 things. And I love what you just said. Answer to confusion is no. And I say it a little differently. I'm like, a confused mind won't buy. Mm-hmm. And it's the same. And it happens a lot when you're trying to scale a surgical practice and bring the synergy between surgery and non-surgery. How do we do these treatment plans in a way someone doesn't feel sold to, but can embrace and say yes, so that both businesses grow? So thank you, honey, for sharing. So was there a turning point? Was there an aha moment when things shifted for you, whether it was in the business, in the leadership? When did that happen?
So at 4S, someone talked about comp plans, and we had 2 providers who we were redoing their comp plans, and it was, you could tell they weren't excited, and we thought we were giving them an exciting opportunity. So that's not you. Whenever your communication is received differently than how you intend, then you have to sit and reflect and see what's going on. So when you said we offer this service to redo comp plans, I was like, I am clearly failing at this. That's a thing we could do. And I came to Forest, I had no idea that was a service that you could have.
Do.
That was, whatever that costs, I'm going to get that. And then as it went on, I thought, like, okay, I sat in the financial part. Our brand new then first impression team manager was in the sales part, and trying to piece together the things. I was like, well, I need help with retail sales. I definitely need help with the comp plans. And I need someone whose attention can be on growing the spa side, but you have to have someone who understands how they integrate. Like, you can't have someone come in and just focus on the spa side if you don't see how that works with the surgery part. And so that seemed great. And then I had not met Christy until I met her for a second at the conference. And then when she came in, she's just a love. Like, it's so easy to talk to her, and really has a talent to make it not threatening at all. Yeah. I always said to Amy, I said, like, she's like our marriage therapist, right? Like, and I know a lot of people are in practice with their spouses, right? And if you're married, like, David and I have been together since college, right? Like, it's a long time.
I love that. And you work together, and you've made it work. That's
it's a long time. But it get, anybody who's in a long relationship, it gets sticky, right? You need to, like, talk through the things. So the same is with your business partner, right? Like, it requires that same attentiveness and that same, like, we value your opinion and we want what you want, and like, how do we get there so that it's a win-win-win, right? Because in any relationship, if all the energy and all the resources are going to one person's goals, then that doesn't work. It's not healthy. So the thing that was great about Christy was that she was able to come in and be that person for the spa side of the practice, so that in the as we were going through and building out an OR for quality is not a minor thing. Bringing on at the same time, bringing on a third surgeon at the same time, opening up another location. Like there were so many pieces. We scaled. We had 40 employees by last month. Like that. There was a lot. And having someone whose sole attention was to making sure that the non-surgical part of the practice not only didn't get lost, but that we did a better job. And this is the thing that's really important. Our tagline when we opened our practice in 2017, world-class care in the welcoming environment you deserve. We have always been big on the feeling, both from the patient experience and in how our team treats each other. But focusing everything on your patient care, right, on outstanding clinical outcomes and outstanding experience is always what the goal is. And having someone who could sit there and go, okay, this is what this spa needs to grow, but more than that, this is how you use both sides to most effectively take the best care of your patients, right? Because the making the money comes after. You have to take great care of the patients. You have to provide that story that they want to share with others. You have to make them feel like, I can't wait to tell my friends and family, I can't wait to come back. And then you need help with also, how do I get them to spend more each time they're here? Because that's really the thing. And so those pieces together, that worked beautifully, but it worked beautifully. Like I copy Christy and Amy on every, like on our weekly email, on our weekly, it's like they are team members, right? Like they have become part of our team. And literally, like earlier today, re-upped for, different things. I have different goals, but different things that we know we need help with next year. And I also have a personal business coach with well-oiled operations, because I need to be able to do my best at looking at a strategic plan and developing the people underneath me. And each part of that only works if you have other people who know more than you do, who have more experience, who can pull on a career of best practices with not a hunch, but actual data. And I know, and I was saying to your assistant beforehand that I think that we are your best proof, because I went through quality of earnings before you, and I went through quality of earnings after you. So I know for sure.
I'm like a kid in a candy store right now, right?
Yeah. But here's the thing. So I know that we spent a little under $100,000 with you last year. Okay.
Me?
But I know, with Terri Ross,
right.
with Terri Ross Consulting.
Right. Okay. That's but let's get it clear. That's a 12-month, right? Yes.
12 months. But I know that the EBITDA through quality of earnings, so proof, clear, unpartial, the financial colonoscopy of that process, right? That went up 300,000, right? So why on earth would you not do that?
I almost want to I want to sit with it for a minute. One, I'm so look, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you guys, your entire team. More importantly, it's like we tell people there's no magic wand. We do have a framework that's proven, but we can't make people do it. And Lisa, like even just to hear you tell the story, which I've heard before, and I've heard it when we've spoke many times, but to hear it again, it's almost like it can bring the only reason I even do this, right, or that Christy or anyone on our team does this is not for me and it's not for the money. I have a little daughter upstairs who's 12, and it's because I want to give back and I want to share and I want to educate, and I don't want people to make foolish mistakes and waste time and money. And when EBITDA goes up 300%, you're like, that's all we can do. But we are a team. It is a collaborative effort, right, of our knowledge and yours, and then the execution on behalf of you and your team. So mad respect and congratulations, and thank you for sharing. And I want to pause for a second before I even continue on, more results. But why is it? Because I don't know, like maybe you're an anomaly, and I'm coming at you now to ask a little bit of advice too, because I've been in this space for over 20 years. Most people know my story. I spent 16 years on the corporate side. I had a med spa with some surgeons in Beverly Hills, scaled it, sold it, wrote training courses. I mean, I'm humbled to say that, like, Christy, our entire team has walked the walk, right? Talk the talk. It's no bullshit. But what do you think holds people back? You guys have been around a long time. What holds people back from wanting to get expert help, or feeling like it's an expense when in reality it's an investment with a huge return? Like, what do you think it is?
I have thought about this. So,
Good.
I recently, earlier in the introduction, you said that we have very, very proudly, and it is our passion project, worked with our chamber, and we present our Women in Business Mentorship Academy. It's in its sixth season now. It is so impactful to women returning after having kids, or after divorce, or a fleeting abusive relationship, or just people with entrepreneurial desires, but how do I start? It's such a phenomenal thing. And 3 years ago, I was like, wow, I would like a mentor, and talking to some of the women who volunteer their time as mentors, like, okay, well, where do we get to be mentees? Yeah. And I was just Googling around with that, and I found this organization, C200, and it just phenomenal. And to be a member as an entrepreneur, you have to have annual revenues of 20 million or more, and all these other things, but they have a protege program, and you have to have 10 million in revenue. So I was like, that was my goal. Like, I want to get there, because I want to have this, I want to be a protege in this program.
Yeah.
So I went this year to their conference, and phenomenal. But one of the speakers, the last speaker, was Margie Worrell, and she is a PhD researcher, and she talks about the courage gap. And what she finds is that when you, the people who succeed at that incredibly successful entrepreneur or C-suite, or like the most successful level, they have a courage score of 80% or higher on these 5 different components. And and I took the test, like everyone in the room took the test.
Yeah.
But I had over 80 on one, and I had as low as 50 something on part of them. And in the questions were very impactful. And I was like, that is a thing, right? Like the women that really just do it innately, they have this level of bravery, but bravery in very specific components. Okay. And I think that people who shy away, and this is really, really important, plastic surgeons, you don't want your plastic surgeon to throw caution to the wind. You want a very careful, not nervous, but very meticulously cautious at what they do clinically surgeon, right? That's the good quality of an excellent surgeon. That same set of qualities doesn't say, hey, I'm going to just go do these things, because it's a different set. So as a consultant, you, Amy, you'll all have those high bravery scores. And I think it's hard for the practice owners to sit there and go, okay, most practice owners aren't MBAs. Most practice owners come into it from a different background, and that's not to say that they can't learn all the same financial information. It's that
Yeah.
what interested them, what their interest was a very detailed, clinical, exacting, precise thing, and that's a different personality than what you need to go all in and say, I need help. I need help. And so I think that it's more the concept. I think it would feel easier for people to reflect back on the multidisciplinary team education they had. Everyone in a medical background came up through a training program where every day was a multidisciplinary team,
Yeah.
right? And the person that was the doctor wasn't the person that was the physical therapist, wasn't the person that was the speech language person, wasn't the social worker, wasn't the nurse, wasn't
Yeah.
the whatever,
I
but
love that.
all of
Yeah.
those people were needed.
Yeah.
And I think people get in their head that if they need help, they're doing something wrong. And these are very smart people and they're very capable people. And it's not that they're doing something wrong, but you could do something better. And viewing it as just like, you need these people on your team. This is the success of your business is needing this whole team. And I know that everyone that has engaged, every person we've engaged with for help in our business has made an impact. But I can say you're a pure play in that we brought you on to specifically focus on the spa stuff. And we have a specifically clear through quality of earnings before and after, which is a super rare thing, right? But I can prove that you made a difference. And I can say that we did roll into a much better fit. We're part of Cosmetic Physician Partners now, and phenomenal, which I do need to correct the opening credits. I am not Chief Operating Officer of the Med Spa.
Well, shit. Okay, well, I'm going to give it to you anyway.
Our little piece in Sports St. Lucie closed because they had to move outside of what's an acceptable service area for us to do medical directorship with. But we, I am Chief Operating Officer of the plastic surgery side, and I do so appreciate all the super kind things that you have said about David and I, but I have to give equal credit to our spa partner, Christina Naugle, who, top 100 aesthetic injector and really medical facts, just phenomenal in all the things. And it doesn't work if you don't have a team that, doesn't keep you lying awake at night. And that's a huge part.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I want to even go back to the beginning because if people were like, "Oh God, this $10,000 thing," let me and thank you because when Christina did call, and I love you're so humble. You're so humble, and I really love that you have built this culture of your 40 people. That's a lot. It's a lot to manage, and all these women personalities, and oh my God, right? On top of the male surgeons. But that when Christina called me, and you're right, my God, she is equally as hungry and dedicated to her craft and taking care of patients and good outcomes and successful business, and loved you both like a family. And then to have it all come together in this fashion. So yes, Christina, love you too, honey. And really, but what you kind of said was that, God, when she called me, you said, I had to look back and say, where was I falling short, or what was going on that she had to call? And so for everyone listening, look, we only work in two ways. People hire us on a retainer, or they hire us to do sales training, or if they're not ready, we audit a business. And so what Lisa was talking about in the beginning was we did a full-on audit. And what she said was she had already had quality of earnings. She had already had that right valuation. So thank you, Lisa, so much. What intangible beyond the numbers, right? Beyond the numbers, because you are of belief, of culture, and again, what you coach on the book. And I want you to talk a little bit about that too. Like everybody should get this book, This Unreasonable Hospitality. Oh my God. Or, I don't know, bring Lisa in. It's a serious thing. And because to her point, like three things always come back out of the societies I sit on and all of the surveys that they do. And it's literally in this order: culture and leadership, training, and the data. And you cannot have one without the other. You can't. It doesn't work. And the amount of clients, or prospects, I should say, that call us that need help, right? They need help, but they're not ready to, kind of jump over the fence and make that decision. So working with people like you. And again, you guys, I hope you're listening to really her story. So if you are, whether you're a startup or you're in the middle of the road and you're like, oh, I got this on my own, I guess the question is, do you really? Like, and what is it costing you not to? And whether it's me or anyone else out there, right? There's some talented people. But Lisa, can we talk about, and thank you for sharing and being transparent with your business and the success, but has there been, beyond the numbers, personal transformations or intangible things that you guys have, leaned in on?
Okay, so so many. So I will say that in 2023, our office manager retired. Until then, I really did. I like strategic planning and I like staff development. Those are my things that I love doing. But she retired, and I found myself doing. I want to back up a second. When she was going to retire, I asked her to do something for me because it scared me, because so much of our business was in her head and not written down, right? Terror. So I interviewed her for days about every single thing that she does when the door is closed. Like, what are all the tasks, like really all the tasks. And I blew them up into giant posters. I had them printed and I put them in posters. And I took all my staff that I saw wanting some managerial role, and I brought them in and I gave them different color little flag stickies, and each one had a color. And I said, okay, I categorized them as like, these are financial, these are operational, these are, right, all the different things. And each one had its own poster. And I said, go put your sticky on any task that seems of interest to you. And it was so interesting to me because I thought I'm going to have a full poster that's this person and a full poster that's not what happened.
Really?
Everybody.
I love this thing. I'm going to do it.
So it was a great exercise, but people went and they put 2 on this one and 3 on this one and 2 on this one, 3, and it was like creating their own job descriptions, right?
Yeah.
But that also told me that these people were not happy with what they were doing currently because they wanted more. They wanted to do these things. And then there was a series of tasks that had no flags on them. And I put dark blue, like took the color that was left over. So I put dark blue tags, and we talked about those as the dark blue tasks. And they fell to me, but they were things I hate doing. I know how to do them, but I hate doing them. And I said to David, I said, I'm doing the dark blue tasks for like this long, or we're getting divorced. Like, I'm not.
For a minute.
I'm like, this is not happening. We had bought this house out here in Utah, and I was like, if I'm doing the dark blue task, I'm going to be in Utah, and you're going to be in Florida, and this is not a thing. So my anxiety, and I'm not an anxious person. I am a very like, I'll hop into it. I'll try it out. Had such anxiety of like, I have to be the one to actually do payroll. Yuck.
Right.
Why?
Right. Kill myself, slip my wrist.
Like this whole, I am going to the bank. I'm spending 25 minutes, 10 minutes, and 25 minutes driving to the bank to make a deposit. Why?
It's crazy, right?
Like, okay. So in that moment where I was most like, I cannot do this, an ad popped up on Facebook for this well-oiled operations. And it was a video that basically said, are you an owner or operator? Are you stuck doing these things in your business, or are you working on your business? And I was like, you,
That's
I'm
me.
hiring you. This is like whatever that costs, I'm doing
Right.
that.
Right.
And I did that. And I was astounded when they said how much it was. I was like, no, I'm just going to do it because it's cheaper than getting divorced and it's cheaper than like going in and like
Right.
screaming at
And
people,
hating,
right?
yeah, and hating
And
doing it. Hate,
I
right.
can't do it.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do we do about these dark blue casts? It's terrible. But over time, some of that I farmed out. Like we some
Mm-hmm.
sent to the accounting firm, some of it I sent to
Yeah.
another consultant. Like people,
You
other people.
figured it
You
out.
pay other
Yeah.
people to do things you don't like to do because your
Agree.
time is
Agree.
valuable and your mental health
Yes.
is important.
Yes.
And what I contribute the most is strategic planning and staff development. So if I am spending my time entering payroll and driving to the bank, I'm not being as valuable to the business as I can be. And that's the same thing for all the other staff, is that your surgeon should be doing surgery and your PA should be doing it. Everyone should be able to doing what they uniquely do, but you can't forget your back office people because they all have skills and things they love to do and things they can't stand doing. And that you should not be so focused on this is the office manager job, because that's a bucket of tasks. And maybe the highlight of their week would be to do those tasks, and you have to let people grow. So that was a really big thing. And for me, a big aha moment with Christy was her sitting and really saying, well, okay, like I do these comp plans, what are the job descriptions? And we had gone through that exercise with the posters, and I know that Christy was very focused on the job descriptions for providers. But to me, that really said, when you have a provider and they get, different states have different regulations. So sometimes you can call it commission, sometimes you can't, whatever. But they get paid for their performance in a different way. And while we had made it so that everybody could get something if they sold skincare, we really hadn't aligned the back office people with what could you get if you did your job well. And so part of my getting out was to develop an assistant management team, which has been a joy. Like, it is such a joy to see these 5 women and how they interact, how they own each of their portion of the business and how they interact with it. I take them out to lunch once a month and we go over everything. And it's my best before and after is watching this team grow. Like, they're phenomenal. But Christy really gave me the impetus to, like, okay, I need to help develop for each one of them what it is that where they want to grow. So
Yeah.
in a very lovely thing, like our this person was a billing person. We've paid for her to go back and get an MBA.
Amazing.
And in 3 years, she's going to take on a lot of what I'm doing. And
Incredible. Yeah.
it it's just, and it's Veterans Day, so she's a military veteran. So I
Okay. Yeah.
feel really this process of working with Terri Ross and your team, it lets you take a step back and do that 30,000-foot view of your business, because you guys are doing the deep dive on the individual things that maybe you missed that could do better. Because otherwise you're stuck doing payroll and you never
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
this, and that's how you grow.
Yeah.
And I think that eh, when people sit there and say, I can't afford this, take a breath. It's a courage thing. It's right. It's like, it's scary, but you're going to be okay. And it's okay to have someone look at your stuff and say you could do better. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. And it's not going to fall apart, and they're not going to take over your thing. They're going to help you do a better job at your job.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that way of looking at it. I think too, and it's so fascinating, right? People want, they want to know when. Like, when am I going to see the result? When, right? If I pay X, I'm going to see this by Y. And it's really hard. And I've struggled my whole life because people have said to me, Terry, can you guarantee? And sometimes now from a both a humble but a little bit of a, not arrogance isn't the right word, but a very confident standpoint. We, if people work with us, unless you just don't do the work, people have grown. Look at your numbers, exponential, right? Exponentially, right? Millions and millions of dollars, right? EBITDA growth. Many of them have sold, and congratulations on that. That is a huge testament to us both, though, right? To us both as a team. And so, what? And I think you just kind of just said it. You've been in the industry for a long time, and people are struggling. Unfortunately, we all know this. There's no business school, which is why Dr. Schultz and Isaac and myself started for us. We didn't start it because we're bored and have nothing to do. We started it because we wanted to give back. And I'd love to have you be part of that, Lisa. I think there's a real place for what you do, because it's not even what I do. And I think that if people want to get out of their own way, kind of check the ego at the door. And I always say you can be the greatest surgeon, the greatest provider. You're good at your craft. I'm not here, Christy. Our team's not here to teach you how to play the game. You know how to play the game. I'm here to teach you how to win the game. And I can help you win it, right? We can help you win it further and faster by our expertise along with your expertise. And so now, you looking ahead, what's the vision for the future for you?
Okay, so I wrote this down too. So a few things. So one, I personally, I love the unreasonable hospitality part. I also love I love helping people set up correctly from the beginning, but I really love the mentorship, the development. And I am working on I am so excited to be in this protege program with people who are, corporate CEOs, and just to pour into me a little bit better, because we always have things we can learn, right? Always. Yeah. But for me, I have my little list of what I asked to do. So we had our spa services acquired by Cosmetic Physician Partner. We have our plastics practice, but we're going to, because we're opening up the Quad A OR and we moved our laser to the OR, we have this space, right? And every bit of your space should be earning money, right? So we're going to launch a hair restoration program. And I, want Christy to help us launch that. So that's one. I also really want to, we focused this year on the tools, that last bit, and I will say Pinpoint Marketing did a beautiful job. But it's a lot of time, back and forth is a lot of time. Yeah. And we didn't get to, because we were really focusing on CPP, that last piece, which is really surgical. We didn't get to that. And I want Christy to be the person to finish up that surgical piece.
Yeah. Love that.
But I want to do two things that I know, as I'm focused on the OR and the bringing on our third surgeon, who's a woman. Yeah. I'm excited. But Dr. Thais Polenko, and Thais, if you're listening, we're so excited to have you. And we have Dr. Forlayer too, is amazing. Our whole team are just people you enjoy coming to see every day, and so talented. But I need help maximizing the use of AI in our practice. And I know that that's something that you've looked at. And I know that that's really a lot of the future, and doing that in a HIPAA compliant way, so important. But then also finding the right way to measure the success of the increasing success of our using the treatment plans to make sure that all the surgical patients get the right non-surgical treatments, and all the spa patients get surgery when that really is the thing that would fix it. And to measure that in a way that is real, because we all know that data is a lot of garbage in, garbage out, right? Like
Yeah. Yeah.
we have to be
Yeah.
careful. So things like you can pull a retention report from a manufacturer, like they'll go like, oh, you go on our platform and you put this retention report. That just says that they've stopped using that product. You could switch them to a
Yeah.
similar product, and then it doesn't tell you what you. I want to make sure that we're looking at what we mean to look at, and
Yeah.
that we're designing the mechanism to capture that data correctly, or you won't capture what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And so those are that's what I wrote, support at
Yeah.
Terri Ross. Like I want those things for this coming year.
Well, I mean, God, you're like, it's like truly, it's music to my ears. Well, for a couple things, I'm really excited for you guys to expand into this hair restoration. I think it's phenomenal, and it's such a huge opportunity right now
And
for
men and women,
everyone. Oh,
menopause is such a big thing. And like we all have
yeah,
a little, like, a little bit.
yeah. And it's not even really just for hair loss, and you and I could have a whole nother discussion on that. But I love that you have a very clear plan. I love that you're being innovative with AI. If we don't embrace it, we're going to be left behind the eight ball. What I love more, and not even more, equal to that, and I want to go back to your insane success and that you still sold the med spa to CPP and with a 300% EBITDA growth. You guys, you need to underscore that. If you don't understand what that means, I mean, this is the true profit at the bottom line. This is what's really important. But what Lisa still said, and it's really where I have spent my time. I have spent probably 2 weeks of every month, either training private equity groups, franchisees, working for corporations now, training on the sales side. And when I say sales, and Lisa, you saw me at 4S, what I mean is what she said earlier. You're educators, right? You are educators if you are in this space. And so I really need you to shift the mindset because you have to adopt it. If you don't, you're not maximizing the potential from each patient, which means you can't do a treatment plan, which means you won't have the ROI and the revenue. You won't. You just can't. It doesn't make sense. So what I love, Lisa, is what you just said is that you care deeply about not just having the tangible like treatment plan, but making sure it happens. And the making sure it happens part is David, is right. All the two other surgeons, is every provider saying, okay, I know what I know. I embrace Terri's right framework or formula, because when people buy for one, they buy, look at the whole Maslow's hierarchy. We can talk about the needs thing, but people buy for one reason. They have an emotional problem. They don't like something. And if we don't unpack that, how badly they feel, once we can unpack it and ask a series of questions and get to those needs, it almost diffuses every objection. So now I'm going to go on my soapbox, but I love that you said it, because we can all talk about every KPI and what the benchmark should be. And I'm not saying it's bullshit. It's bullshit if you can't do it, right? So I love that you're saying making that a priority for you, because the training on how to do it is what is going to continue to elevate your growth internally with people and in revenue and profitability. So I love that. Woo! This was I don't even know about you guys. But her story, I knew some of the story. I didn't really hear it from you in this way. So I'm equally hearing it too. But for my tribe and for anyone new listening and anyone in this space, I hope that what you took away from this hit home in some way, really from an emotional perspective, touched a nerve, hit a chord, made you sit down and take a pause for a second and go, God, you know what? If she could do it, I can too. And maybe that's me. Or maybe I've been a little resistant. Maybe I've been trying to do it on my own and I'm in my own way. So thank you, Lisa, for being vulnerable and for sharing your story. I think it's going to help a lot of people. And more importantly, your success. I can't wait to see you and hug you and celebrate with you and congratulate you. I hope I'm going to see you in a month. I don't know. 4S is like in 3 weeks.
But yes, so I want to just give like your tribe here, right? Like,
thank you.
A year ago, okay, so in our deal fell apart in the first week of June in 2024. Our second daughter got married in October. Well, I mean, it was the oldest one, but
Right.
our second wedding was in October of 2024. And after I resurfaced after those two back-to-back weddings,
Yeah.
I found Christina looking out in the universe for some help, which clearly I was not giving her.
You're right.
Um, and that was like November, maybe. And
Yeah.
I went to 4S in December of 2024. It is November of 2025, 1 year later. Let's talk about tangible things. Our house is paid off, right?
Ooh, yeah, girl.
You know, we're
Kids
we're
are
in
married.
a good we're in a good position. And but when people start thinking like, why do you work, right? Right. You
Yeah.
work to
Yeah.
have do meaningful results for your patients, and you work also so that you can see the fruits of your labor. And we are able to do things because of the position. And this is the greatest thing. We didn't sell to something that's going to wreck it. We sold to something that's going to build it. And it's so important because we were able to stay together and find the right partner that's going to help us grow. And this is really, it's such a beautiful partnership where we're so excited for CPP. It's the right fit for us. And that sort of say yes to the dress kind of
Yeah.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
they, that was the right thing and worth waiting for. But our growing, all the good things that happened in this year, it can be 1 year. You can go from it being a mess to being exactly what you wanted in a year, but you have to take that step. You have to ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, it's like AA, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
It is again getting a little uncomfortable and asking for help. Well, Lisa, any last words that you want to share with everyone?
Hire Terri.
I Well, I appreciate you seriously more than you know. I hope I'm going to see you in a couple weeks. And
Yes, absolutely.
um, uh, look, and we're equally still honored to be working with her and her amazing team for another year of what's to come to
Mm-hmm.
help her what we talked about with the treatment plans, with the hair
Mm-hmm.
restoration, with her
Mm-hmm.
team and continued growth. And for anyone that's listening, thank you so much for just being part of my life, my world, my family. You are my why. The Lisas Licksteins of the worlds, the Christinas, the Davids, all my other clients out there, and just people that have supported me and my team. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. If this resonated with you at all and you are in any stage or place, look, we are wrapping up the year. There's no better time than now. Like the I woulda, coulda, shoulda, how, what, when. Like, come on, let's stop the noise. Like, what is it costing you not to do something? So thank you so much. Like I said, if this resonated with you, please share it with a colleague, share it with a friend. And I encourage you to visit terrirossconsulting.com. You can please book a strategy call with our team. We will gladly want to get to know you, understand your challenges, more importantly, talk about how we can support you. And then certainly have, experts like Lisa and other successful people in our tribe. So I love y'all so much. Thank you. The show notes will be in the bottom. Please share this. And with that said, I'm going to drop the mic. Thank you. And we'll see you on the next episode of In Touch with Terri. Ciao, guys.